Anyway, why is it that everybody thinks that marriage is like a, a religious thing? In other words, why is it religious? Is it totally all just religious?
Well, there's two kinds of marriage. There's the legal marriage
Well, that's what I mean.
done by the
Is
state.
there's legal marriage.
Right, and my wife and I have both. We went to
And
the courthouse
Yeah.
and got legally married.
Okay.
Because
that's legally married.
Legally
Okay,
married,
then
right.
there's the church marriage.
Right. Well, we had planned on getting married, and then I changed jobs, and I didn't have health insurance. And she worked for a company, and she said, well, if you're married to me, then you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So we kept our wedding date,
Yeah.
and then we went to the courthouse and got married.
Oh, cool.
So then legally now, I was her husband, so I had medical benefits.
See, so that's how it works.
Okay. And then 6 months later, we had
That's why
a
they
church
don't want
wedding.
gays to get married, because they'll have health benefits.
Well, that's one reason,
And
but
they'll
a lot of big companies are already having
They're
those
already
benefits.
getting it. Like I think Deluxe Corporation
Yeah.
gives them partners.
Domestic partners.
They're called domestic partners.
Right.
So why couldn't we have just said to people the gay community couldn't have said, well, we'll just have domestic partners, and we'll get all the benefits that the married people get.
Well, that was one of the big arguments about, maybe we ought to just kind of sneak in the back door that way.
Well, that's what I
Okay.
think.
But then you have to decide, do you want to go along with, okay, our same-sex relationship isn't as legitimate as this other one.
As heterosexuals are.
Exactly.
And you're right. No, that hurt. It's hurtful.
One of the things that happened when we
Right?
had well, yes, it is,
be
because the
hurtful.
children of same-sex couples
Oh yeah.
are
Yeah.
are taught that
Right.
their parents' marriage,
Right.
isn't legitimate.
Isn't legitimate, and that's so wrong.
Okay, so it hurts.
It
when
hurts the
people say,
kids.
well, it's going to be the breakdown of society, I think there are more people being hurt by forbidding gay marriage
Yes.
than will be hurt by
Letting
people
it go through.
going through. And it's not a question of if, it's a question of
When.
when.
I agree. When. I agree. It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's going to happen because you can't deny somebody that loves somebody. I mean, if they love one another, then they should be able to get married.
When this whole
And
amendment,
how come these women and these guys, all the celebrities are having children and not married? Do you see what I'm saying? That's really looks bad.
well, yeah, particularly if you're
mean-
saying that that's what marriage is for, is certainly
Well-
that's not the way society is behaving.
They're not getting married
right.
anymore. They're having a bunch of kids. Jolie, what's her name? Jolie, what's her name?
And Brad, that couple.
And Brad.
Yeah.
How many kids they got? 15 kids or something running around? Adopted all these kids, and they're not married. But I thought that was what marriage was about. Was we're going to get married so we can have our children, and Lord will bless us all. And blah, blah, blah.
Well, see now, where do you want to start the measuring for tradition? Because it
For
used
the
to be.
heterosexuals,
Well, okay. So are you going to talk about when popes were married?
when were popes married?
In the Catholic Church, for a long time,
Yeah.
popes married, priests married.
Why can't they marry now? Maybe there wouldn't be so many molestation of
Well,
children.
because what happened was marriage traditionally has been a legal contract. So because who inherits the property is the firstborn, so you want to make sure that your firstborn is yours, not somebody else's, not some other father's.
Oh.
Okay. And so what happened was
I see.
the priests that were
Never thought
married
about
wanted to
that.
pass on their property to their firstborn son.
Right.
And the church was saying, you don't have any property. It's the church's property.
Ooh.
And so that's when they started forbidding priests to marry.
Oh, is that what happened?
Right. It wasn't this
Wow.
long line of with no priests weren't married.
Well, why don't they let them get married again? Because I think they need to get married again because there are too many of them molesting children. Excuse
Well,
me.
part of
I don't
that
mean to
is
be saying that, but it's the truth. It's
okay,
just,
part of the thinking behind that is that women are not as close to God as men are. So you can't have women priests; they're not equal.
but they do have women priests.
The Catholic Church doesn't.
Oh, they don't.
No. And their justification is
Oh.
that Jesus didn't have female disciples, which is wrong if you read the Bible.
Well, then they must have been a bunch of gays. Guys,
You know, well, when you're hanging out with 12 guys, yeah.
you're hanging out
Okay.
with all the guys.
Okay. So and then there was that
You're
recent.
saying they didn't have sex then? I mean, do you get my drift?
Well,
I mean-
I'm sticking with the point about why no women priests.
Okay, why?
Okay. Well, they said that Jesus didn't have female disciples, which, if you read the Bible, that's not what it says.
Oh, good.
Okay. And then the other thing is this idea that that sex is this bad thing that that it's not spiritual. You know, there's the spirit and the body. You know, and that the Adam and Eve were kicked out
Oh,
of.
because they ate the apple. Or
Yeah, they ate the apple, which
Right.
people say, oh, that's having sex. That's a metaphor for having sex.
Oh,
Except
yeah.
if you back up a little bit and you say that you read the Genesis, it says, you know, that God created the heavens and the earth and the animals and the people and everything,
Right.
and said, and it was good.
right.
Okay.
It said it
Now,
was good.
and be fruitful and multiply, right?
Right.
Which means have sex.
Right.
okay.
Fruit will multiply.
Yeah. So God wasn't saying sex is bad.
No,
Okay.
I never thought he would.
Okay. But then people say, well, but they got kicked out. They got kicked out. They got kicked out for eating from the tree of knowledge, not having sex.
That's right. See,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
All right. So, and that the tree of good and evil. Okay. So it wasn't that they had sex and that made them evil. It was that
No.
they broke the one rule.
Okay.
And then where people get confused is they say, well, that they covered themselves. Okay.
Right.
Well, they covered themselves because they were feeling ashamed.
Well, sure.
and-
Stand there naked in front of the world.
Well, and that's the experience of shame, is that you can see the real me,
Right.
and I can't hide it.
Right.
You know, that's
Yeah,
the difference
that's-
between being naked and being
Yeah.
exposed. You know, having a sense of being exposed
right.
and just being naked and
Right.
being comfortable with it.
Right.
That the covering themselves was covering their emotional state.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
They would be emotionally covering themselves.
Yeah.
That's probably makes sense. So where's your? Did you bring your book?
I'll send you a cover.
Forgot
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? We'll put it on. We'll
Yeah.
put it on. Patty will have it.
Yeah.
Patty will.
Right.
I have the cover.
Yes.
Yes, she has the cover. Thank you. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, you did bring it. So we will put it on
Okay.
on the show.
Yep. You can get it through Amazon.com. It's a print on demand.
Print on demand, Amazon.com. And I just want to say I hope that these candidates that are running for president kind of think things through a little bit more than they have been doing.
Well, I sent them all copies of the book.
That's a good idea.
I didn't get any thank you letters back.
Oh, you didn't get any
No,
thank you
no.
letters
I'm
back.
sure they're probably on sale on eBay someplace.
Oh, I'm sure probably.
if they didn't burn them.
Yeah, right. You never know. They might. One of them might have burned them.
But I remember when this anti-marriage amendment first came out, I remember in the 70s, I was helping register people to vote to help defeat to pass the amendment saying that you couldn't discriminate against people in housing because of their sexual orientation.
Right.
And I
right.
thought,
yeah. Jesus. that
really,
was
we're
like
back.
in the
We're
70s.
still doing this.
And they're still doing it. They're still discriminating against people. God, let's hope it stops.
Well, I hope we're the first state to say no to this.
I hope we are the first state to say
I
no
would
to
be
this
proud.
because I'd be proud to say that I was part of that state that said no
Yep.
because I'm voting no.
Well, thanks
you're
for having
voting
me
no.
on.
Thank you for being on the show
Yep.
today.
And congratulations on your new show and award.
Yes, thank you. and you're my first guest.
Yep.
And I just
Hopefully
love
not
you
your
for coming.
last.
You'll always, no, you'll never be my last, never. You're going to be on the show again, because I know you got more books up your sleeve.
Yep. Well, I had a book, actually a book of prayers that came out after this one.
Oh, you did?
I took the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous and
Oh, how
used that
neat.
language
Yeah.
to come up with a number of different prayers
Well, how
so that people
nice.
don't have to be Christian or Hindu or
Right,
Buddhist
right,
or anything.
yeah,
and
right, yeah.
They can still use those words
Oh,
to pray.
that's wonderful. See? He's just full of all kinds of great knowledge and greatness, and I just so happy that you came on my show today.
Oh, thanks for the invitation.
You know, I wanna say that from now on, I'm gonna have this Jane's view, and I may have a lot of opinions that nobody likes, but you know what? So be it.
well,
I'm gonna still just be who I am, and I'm glad you're my first guest because you're a great doctor, and you help a lot of people find solitude and happiness in their lives.
well, thank you.
And I'm proud to know you, and God love you. Thank you.
All right.
Love you. And I will see you soon, everybody. Just watch for Janie's View. Don't forget, Jane's View. You never know what I might view you at. Bye-bye.